Everyone.
Hello, welcome.
Hi, good morning, good afternoon here.
Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, and welcome everyone. We'll get started in just a minute. Sorry for the lateness, the delay. But like I said, we'll get started in just a minute, give everyone a chance to join us in the Zoom meeting.
Hi. 喋るとき以外はオフにしておいてください。自分が喋るとき以外は。向こうにうるさいですから。
All right, Dawn, what do you think? Should we get
I
started?
think let's get started. There's a lot to cover.
Yes, absolutely. A lot to cover. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Welcome to our convener Q&A. We're also excited to have you join us next week. I'd like to quickly introduce myself. My name is Sophia Iqbal. I'm the head of program here at World Water Week and Prizes. And I'll go ahead and let my colleague Dawn introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dawn. I'm the digital event manager in the logistics team, sort of looking after the platforms. Really excited to see some faces because I know I've emailed a couple of you.
Exactly. So it looks like we have about 137 of you today. If you could all please make sure your mics are muted. How we're going to run today's quick Q&A is to go section by section based on the questions that we are seeing here at World Water Week from all of you, and kind of go step by step in terms of getting from registering your speakers or registering yourselves all the way through getting on site or online for your session. So what I'd like to do is actually give a minute to everyone to start with questions about registering yourselves and registering your speakers. You can go ahead and start putting those right into the chat. We have three colleagues, Victoria, Adina, and Kat on the chat monitoring that, so they'll be able to answer some of the more urgent inquiries. But then Dawn and myself will be answering more general inquiries for all of you as we go along. So I'll just give it about 30 seconds and then we can go ahead and get started. Victoria, when you're ready, you can give us the first question.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, so first of all, there's a few people that are still waiting to get led into the meeting.
Okay.
So you can go ahead and do that. And the main questions coming in right now is how people can register speakers through their dashboard page for their session.
Okay. So registering, first of all, everyone for World Water Week this year to access our digital platform has to be registered. So all speakers, moderators, technicians, anyone who's going to be a part of your event will need to be registered. So the general way to do that is on our tickets website. And I can quickly share my screen to get that for you. All right, and you can actually do that Sorry.
I guess that while you're doing that, Sophia, I just want to explain that we have two platforms. So one is the registration for the tickets, and that is available from our website, worldwaterweek.org. That's where you go in and you purchase your ticket. Once you've purchased the ticket, we have a data feed of all those people that have purchased the ticket that goes through to Pathable, our digital platform. And then you would receive, once you've registered, hopefully you would have received an email from Pathable inviting you onto the platform. So I guess sometimes we can get a little bit confused when we say registration, because it's ticket registration and then digital platform registration / login access to the platform. So I just wanted to clarify that so everyone understands sort of a bit of a workflow and how it happens.
Exactly. So this is our tickets and registration page for any speakers or, you know, as I said, moderators and such. They can go ahead and register here. Now, for those of you who are participating online and maybe you are only attending for the day, we recommend the online single day pass. And for our on-site folks who are just attending one day, this is our on-site day pass. Now for our online sessions, we have allocated 3 additional single day passes, and those are complimentary. But we have some great news for all of our conveners actually today. We have been able to allocate 15 extra online single day passes to all of our conveners. And so an email will be going out regarding that actually right after this this webinar. So so please stay tuned for that. Victoria, any additional questions about registration? Victoria, there?
Sorry, I was on mute.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a few questions coming in about after registration, people have still not received their Pathable links. And they were wondering when they were going to get access to Pathable.
Yeah, I can take this one, Sophia. What we've tried to set up is that as soon as someone registers, they would automatically get the email with the access link. So whatever time they register, it should, you know, trigger this email. And it seems like some people are getting the emails and some people aren't. And then to complicate things for the people that are getting the email, it may wind up in their spam folder. So that's why we always recommend to check there. Now we have to sort of try and remedy the issue. We are sending out every day an email. This is in addition to, as soon as someone registers, you know, they should get that link. So there's kind of 2 emails going out, and we're hoping that that will find its way to you guys, the people that haven't managed to receive that link. So that's where we're at with that, and I'll be happy to share updates as it happens via Sophia.
Right. And worst case scenario, please email us at worldwaterweek@cwe.org if you have not received your Pathable magic sign-in link. You will receive that from us if you just go ahead and email us. The other thing I wanted to mention is that when you register, no matter which way you register, whatever path you receive, you should receive a booking confirmation email. If you do not receive a booking confirmation email, also email us, because you will need that, you will need to have that confirmation in order to be able to access Pathable, access our digital platform. So it's extremely important that you have that confirmation that you have registered. Victoria, what have we got next?
Sorry. Yes, so we have a few more questions regarding the 15 passes that you mentioned. Whether this is online, who does it apply for, etc.
Sure. So these are online single-day passes, and you can allocate these to anyone within your network. The point of providing these passes to all of you is to boost not only your sessions, but all of World Water Week out to the community. We understand that not everyone can, afford the passes, and we want to provide this, to make this as accessible as possible to your networks. So this is for anyone within your network. Victoria?
Yes, sorry. I have questions about these bulk registrations of 10 or more speakers. They would like to know they're having issues with that and who to contact.
With group booking, is that right? Just for clarification?
Yes, correct.
So for group bookings, that would go to our World Water Week tickets inbox. But if you are talking about these online day passes, you will receive a group booking link from us, actually, like I said, right after this webinar. So you will get an email from us shortly, and that's where you can book and get your confirmation.
There's a question about whether people have to pay and register before getting their links to Pathable.
Yeah, they have to register. Everyone has to be registered and receive that confirmation email.
I also have questions about the single day passes, if they can be used for any day or if it's only for specific days.
Yes, so it can be used for any day. So any day between August 23rd and September 1st, it will be possible to use them, except for August 28th, which is our on-site only day.
Thank you. Sorry, there's a lot of questions here on the chat room, which is great.
That's all right. I did see one regarding credit cards. If you are having trouble utilizing your credit card to on our tickets website, please email our support team at Trippus. Adina, if you could go ahead and pop that into the chat.
Yes, she's on it.
Yeah, I just want to mention that regrettably we don't accept American Express, so it needs to be an alternative card.
Okay, and I'm just taking a look at the chat as well. Victoria, anything, any other questions that you'd like to raise?
I think we have covered the general questions. I think for the individual questions, we will make sure to get back to every single one of you after this webinar.
Right. I do see a question. Do you need to register on Pathable even if you are only speaking in person? Yes, because what happens is when you arrive on site, everyone will be asked to use the World Water Week app. And so you will need to be there so that people can engage with you on the website. Sorry, on the app.
Perfect. Yeah, so first they would need to purchase a ticket and then they would get the access email and then come on to Pathable where they need to fill out their profile.
Perfect. And it's been 10 minutes.
Okay. All right, so we are going to move on to other questions now in our agenda. So what we're going to talk about now is accessing the World Water Week digital platform. So it's kind of a continuation of what we've already been talking about. But any questions that were strictly about registration, we will come back to you. Our team will come back to you later and reach out from our World Water Week inbox. All right, so any questions strictly about accessing the digital platform?
I think people would like a clarification between the World Water Week website and Pathable.
Yes, sure. Dawn, would you mind sharing your screen to World Water Week?
Our website, not the platform, right?
Yes, that's right. And while you're doing that, so the World Water Week website is where all of you, or most of you, submitted your proposals and then filled in your session details, prior to June. So this is World Water Week website. You have an account that you've logged in previously and added all of your session details, including your invoicing information, information about your session descriptions, your summaries, etc. So all of that main information, that kind of public information from the program, is being transferred into Pathable. The digital platform that we are using. So you can see here, this is the World Water Week website, and this is where you submitted your proposals. So this is actually separate from our digital platform. If you don't mind going to our digital platform, Dawn.
Can you see that?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Which you can see at the top, World Water Week 2022.us2.pathable.com. You're going to use your specific links to enter this, but as you can see, it looks a bit different from our World Water Week website. So if you are looking for your sessions now, at this point, you should be specifically looking on the Pathable platform. And if you, Dawn, don't mind just showing them what the all sessions page looks like.
Sure.
So this is where you will find your session. You can go and search for a specific session, or you can, based on what time and day it is, or you can, in the search field, look for your session based on your session ID, your title, etc. So if you don't mind just clicking into a session, Dawn.
Yeah.
Great. So as you can see here, we have this session. The title has been carried over, the introduction, and all of these speakers. I don't know if Nanda is on the call right now, but Nanda is doing great. He's got his speakers here, and the way that he added them is through our Manage button, which is right on the right-hand side here. If you click into that, you can see information about what the live meeting is going to be like. You're going to see information, if you go to basics, about where you add your speakers. So you can see your speaker management page here, and then down below, adding a new member. And do you mind just clicking into that, Dawn, and maybe adding me to this? Yeah. So this is what it will look like. It'll take a moment to populate. You can add the member, and then if all goes well, you'll see your speaker added right there. So if you add someone by mistake, you can go ahead and remove them from your session, and you'll see a quick pop-up that says member removed. And so all session hosts should have this capability. If you don't have this capability to add your speakers, please email us at worldwaterweek@cwe.org. In addition to this, to being able to add your speakers from this page, you can add files, videos, and polls. So Dawn is just showing that feature here. And you can add your polls now. And what's great about adding your polls now is that if you'd like feedback from attendees right now, in advance of your session, you can make the poll visible now, or you can start it at the beginning of your session. It depends on how you'd like to run this. But I definitely recommend, if you are planning on using polls, use the Pathable poll function, just because it's right there. Attendees will see it, and as I mentioned, everyone will have the World Water Week app, whether they're online or on site, so they'll be able to access this from both the app and the platform. Great, perfect. So now let's go to some quick questions regarding the platform. Victoria?
Yes, so there's a question about how to assign session host, speaker, or an exhibitor tag in Pathable. Should they be doing that themselves?
So at the moment, all they can do is add speaker. On the back end, we can add some permissions regarding session host and things like that. But we are having a slight issue with this right now. So we're working on that currently, and we'll be able to do that on the back end for you. So you don't have to worry about that.
And just to note, with the exhibitor registrations, that's a tag that we add. You need to speak to Kat because she's organizing all the exhibitors with their on-site or online booth. And then she will send you a registration form to fill out, and that automatically populates the exhibitor tag once you register and are on Pathable.
Great. Next question, Victoria.
Perfect. Yeah, so there's general questions about whether there is a guide to using Pathable.
Absolutely. So we do, so for more general things within, when you access the platform, there is an FAQ, how to create your profile and things like that. Dawn, what else can they utilize for, kind of working within the digital platform?
Yeah, I mean, there is the Convener Success Program, which has a lot of guidance with how to add your speakers, how to add files. So I would suggest to go over there, and it's on the website. And there's a lot of help there. So under resources in the Convener Success Program.
Right.
Otherwise, yeah, like Sophia mentioned, there is an FAQ. I'm just clicking on it here. Go through profile, also interpreted sessions, technical requirements, and some general questions there.
Yes.
But otherwise, it's supposed to be quite intuitive, the platform. So, I mean, if you can't find the answers to the questions that you have, then email us and we can help.
Absolutely, absolutely. And of course, we do have a support team from our digital platform. So as you can see at the top of Dawn's page, where it says need help, get support, you can click there, or underneath, I believe, your profile as well.
Yeah.
But I do recommend everyone take a look at our Convener Success Program. We have built up a lot of resources there, including several checklists based on what type of session you're hosting. And Adina can put some of those links right into the chat for you so that you can save those for future reference.
Yeah, and I should also mention, we did a training session in June, and that is particularly informative and helpful. So if anyone hasn't seen that, I highly recommend taking a look at that. And it's timestamped, so you can, jump ahead depending on what sort of pressing questions that you would have need answered.
Absolutely.
And that's also on the website.
Exactly. All right, Victoria, next question.
Yes, so people are asking if there's any way for a session host to see how many people have registered to their sessions and whether they will be attending online or on site.
Okay, so, and Dawn can correct me, I don't believe there's, other than going into your session and seeing the people who have saved your session to their schedule, there is no necessarily individual session registration. So that's correct, right, Dawn?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Yep. So when you go to your session, you will be able to see if you click on the People tab, and I'll just wait for Dawn to, you'll go down and you'll be able to see who's added the session to their schedule. You can see if they have an online pass, which is the cloud, or an on-site pass, which also includes online, right there, and it is a
Location pin.
A location key. So you can tell by their icons if they're online or on site, and you can see who has saved your session to their schedule.
And then when you're in the meeting, whether it be webinar or Zoom meeting, you will see the numbers there of how many people actually turned up.
Exactly.
Perfect. We have a few poll related questions. Can they use the poll to set up breakout rooms? And ask the attendees to share their preferences in advance so they can create the Zoom rooms during the session.
Yeah, the configuration for the Zoom meeting, that's already inbuilt in Zoom. So then you would push everyone to the rooms. That's not managed from polls. It's from Zoom itself to create the breakout rooms. And there's two ways you could do it, or maybe there's three. If you want to create the certain people into certain rooms, or you want Zoom to sort of randomly pick people, but you have that information in the webinar, so please take a look at that. But the polls are there for, I guess, engagement of your audience, the people at your meeting. So that's how that works. And the people will be able to see like the polls here on the right-hand side. That's where it populates. Does that answer the question?
I think so.
Victoria? Yeah.
I think so.
I think so, yeah.
Dawn, I can jump in there. It's Kat here. I was just saying that, yes, if you decide to do a poll and say in which of the following rooms would you like to be, you can do that, and that will just start up as you start your meeting, and then you will be making your group rooms during the Zoom meeting. So yes, in fact, it is possible, but you won't be able to do any prep in that case. So it's up to you.
Thanks, Kat.
Perfect. And then there was a question about when will speakers get the Zoom link? Who will be sending that out?
Yeah, you're conducting the meeting on the Pathable platform. So it means going to that session. So as the session host, you would navigate to that session, go in there, hit the manage, and then you will see start meeting. And that would be, it should be there 20 minutes beforehand. And we have this 20-minute period pre-meeting. We call it a green room. And the speakers will, get on into the green room in exactly the same way. So it's on the platform. There's no like separate Zoom links to share.
Right, so you will have to set your own calendar reminders to join the green room 20 minutes ahead. This will be the opportunity for you to meet the platform technician, fix your visuals, make sure your slides are working, kind of do that last minute check of all of everything that you're doing. And this is for online as well as on site if you have remote speakers or if you have an online audience. So it's going to be very important, especially for those on-site sessions, just to make sure that they join the green room 20 minutes ahead.
Perfect. It's been it's time to move on to the next section, which I think links quite well right now to what we're talking about anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. So the next section, and we've dived into it a little bit, is around managing your online and on-site sessions. So if you have questions about, if you have questions about like promoting your session, or anything else regarding, Pathable and making sure that your profile is all set, that your session description is all set, please go ahead and ask your questions.
Okay, so I have a question here about how they can present their slides / photos. Will there be a screen in all rooms, or should they email this to us in advance, or will there be a laptop?
Yeah, I take it this is for on-site sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a speakers room at Norra Latin. So the speakers will need to go there and deliver their presentation. We have someone who's taking care of all of that, and he will add it to the main drive, and we are providing a laptop in each session on site. So then when it comes time to present, you would hopefully beforehand have your presentation at the ready to sort of share. And there will be a screen on the stage in each of the rooms.
Right, and there are, for the on-site session, there are 30 minutes in between. So this will be your time to come and set up the room. Again, if you have remote speakers, get into that online green room and kind of check everything just like you would if you were doing the online. And we will have a cameraman, an image producer on site to help you with things during those 30 minutes. And then of course we do have the digital platform technician also monitoring the online.
Yeah, and if you're on site and you have a remote speaker, they will need to share the presentation, or if you have like an online technical person, then I suggest that maybe they could do that for the speaker.
Perfect. And I think in relation to that, I had a question here about a session that will have panelists joining later after the start of the online session. Can the panelists join later? Will they enter directly into a green room, or will they automatically be able to join the session? As in, is there someone that has to let them in, or will they be joined automatically?
Yeah, we cannot hold the green room open. So if they're unable to make that green room, the 20 minutes before, it's not ideal, but they will still be able to join the session by going to that session on Pathable.
Right, so they will be let, once they click on join meeting, they will be let into the meeting. So there's no kind of waiting period, they will just be let in.
Perfect. I have a question here. Will it be possible to rehearse the session with the speakers in Pathable before the session?
No, but what you can do is you can rehearse on Zoom. I know Zoom has sort of a test site or link that you could use because I guess in Pathable you are essentially using Zoom. So if you want to practice, then set up a free account and just, go through the motions with the speakers and make sure that everyone's comfortable. And it's a really good idea to do that before your session.
Absolutely. I think for all sessions, please make sure you do dry runs. Even if you have an on-site only session, do a dry run. Make sure you're rehearsing with your speakers and just kind of getting them into the same preparatory mood. But yes, as Dawn said, everyone will be in Zoom. You must have a Zoom account to participate in this. So everyone should download that and have a basic account. You won't be using your personal Zoom when you are in the session. You'll be using Zoom through Pathable, but it's essentially the same thing. It will look very similar. So to orient yourself online, just make sure that you you do a dry run in Zoom.
Perfect.
Yep.
Yeah, I had a question here about the digital pathable technician. Are they going to be present during the entire session if anything happens, or who can they reach out to if there's a problem? And with that, I think is a good link to another question, which is asking who controls the presentations?
Right. I can take that, Don. So yes, a pathable technician will be monitoring the room the entire time, the digital meeting. They, are monitoring several other things as well. They'll be kind of doing support on other sessions and such. So they will be around, of course, to make sure that the video feed is going through, that everything's running smoothly, but they will not be controlling the slides. That would be your technical host or whomever you designate as your technical person. So your technical person will be sharing the slides. They will be managing the polls. They will be kind of keeping up with everything that's going on. So it's really, that's why it's extremely important to do these dry runs, just to make sure that everything is going smoothly on your end. But our team will be there to really manage the feed and make sure that the quality is reaching the attendees.
Yeah, and for the hybrid sessions, there will be 2 people in the room with you. There will be, as in technical staff, obviously we hope there'll be a lot of people watching the session. So there is an image producer and also cameraman. So it's a good idea to chat to them, within that sort of like 20 minutes before your session starts, and they can support you. And sorry, for the broadcast sessions, you will have a cameraman.
Perfect. I have a question here for on-site sessions. Will it be possible to visit the rooms beforehand, for example, a couple of days, so that we know what it looks like, what is available, and what can we do with the setup?
Yeah, I'm afraid it's not possible to do that.
Yeah. I mean, of course, the day of, you're welcome to take a look at the room, the day of your session or when we start the program, whether if you're in Folkets Hus on August 28th, then of course, you're welcome to take a look at the room, but sessions will be happening. And then when we reach Nora Latin on the 29th, of course, please take a look at your rooms and things, but sessions will be running. So unfortunately, we don't have access to the venue prior to that.
Perfect. So again, for in-person sessions, who can join online? Is it anyone? Can the link be published publicly or only with an online registration?
So all of our ticket passes have an online component to them. So even if you're on site at Nora Latin here in Stockholm, you can still attend a session online if you'd like to. And so anyone who's registered for World Water Week can attend online.
Except for Sunday session.
Except for the Sunday on-site only session that is exclusive to Stockholmers. But sorry, I forgot the part B. The part B of the question was if you can share the link outside. We do not allow that on Pathable. It's a completely private meeting. So anyone who does not have a ticket and does not have access to the digital platform cannot be let into the meeting.
Yeah, because if you do share the link, you run the risk of actually aborting the meeting. So it's super important not to share that Zoom link.
Perfect. I have a question here about how do attendees, not speakers, register to attend the CWE sessions?
Again, going back to kind of the beginning of this meeting, you'll go to the World Water Week tickets website. and purchase a ticket there. Adina, if you could just put the link to our tickets page up on the chat.
Yes, she's on that.
Mhm.
I have a few questions regarding the assigned tech person. Do they have to be registered to be assigned this role?
Yes. Everyone participating in the session needs to be registered for the event.
Perfect. I also have someone here who is a part of an institution that doesn't allow Zoom accounts. If you can't have a Zoom account, is there other options?
Yeah.
Dawn, I can jump in here.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one, Kat.
Yeah, no, I mean, basically you can just do Zoom through web browser, but if you are a speaker and need to share screen or show a presentation, that really won't work for you. So it depends a little bit on how you are joining. If you're joining just to view, you can just go through the browser. But if you are a speaker, you need to find somebody or somehow to get a Zoom account downloaded so that you can actually share screen, etc.
Yeah, if you have a private laptop, I guess.
Yeah, that would be
Like
probably best. Yeah, to create a personal a Zoom account on your own laptop or someone else's.
Perfect. So we are at the mark where we could move on to the next section.
Okay. All right, and so the next section, we've already been covering this a little bit, but day of expectations for sessions and exhibits. I think we've already kind of explained what happens in the green room before an online session. In terms of, I think actually, Victoria, why don't we go straight to questions? I think we've hit all the things that we wanted to cover initially.
Okay, and actually I want to go back one because there was a few questions about the promotional kit that we were meant to talk about in the previous section to promote your session with our toolkit. Yes.
Sure. So to promote your sessions, we have created a promotional toolkit that is again on our Convener Success program page and within our resources library. It's one of the top things that you'll be able to see. So Adina, if you could put that into the chat, that would be really helpful. It's a great toolkit that our communications team has put together. So we hope that everyone uses it on their social media, shares, within their various newsletters and such.
Perfect. Yes. So there's a question here. There's a person that would like more general information about location and setup of talk shows.
Absolutely. So we can actually put that up on our Convener Success program. Adina has created a checklist for talk shows, and she can share that, of course, with those who are convening the talk shows and speaking on the talk shows, but then we'll also share that generally on our Convener Success program. So that will be up there as well by the end of today.
Perfect. I have a few questions coming in here about translation for different sessions. Will that be available and how?
Yes. So we are working with a service provider called Interactio. And the way that interpretation will work, there are some sessions that have requested and booked interpretation. And so when you go to the Pathable website, the sessions that have interpretation attached to them, you'll be able to actually find them either by keyword interpretation or be able to search for them through our program schedule. So if you, Dawn is going to share for us. Thank you. There is an entire section for interpreted sessions. And the way that interpretation is going to work, whether this is on-site or online, is that attendees will download the Interactio app. There's actually more information in our FAQ about this, on where to find the app and things like that. But we do recommend that all of our conveners who have interpreted sessions, you know who you are, to let attendees know when they arrive to the session that they should download this app. We are, of course, sharing this within our packing list to all of our participants, but it's good. It's a good reminder for all those sessions who have interpretation attached.
Perfect. So I think some people need clarifying on the fact that, for example, their session page indicates online and on-site session. But on the registration, it says on-site. They would like to know what the difference is.
Yes, I can take that. It's because we have the digital component for the on-site sessions, including Sunday, of course. So like the Monday through to Thursday, an online audience can join. So it seems like in your particular case that it is an on-site session, so it could be a talk show, it could be a hybrid, or it could be a broadcast. And these are the ways that the online people can join the session, if that makes sense.
Perfect, thank you. I have a few questions coming in about the sessions being recorded. Are they being recorded? Can they release the session recording publicly? And will they be available later in CWE's YouTube page, or where will they be available?
Sure, I can take this. So yes, all sessions will be recorded except for those on the Sunday, August 28th. So again, those on-site only sessions. But so all of our online sessions and those that are happening in Nora Latin will all be recorded. We actually have a request form for you to be able to get those raw videos. That is on our convener FAQ page. Dina, if you could throw that in the chat. But you can request the video recording now, and then after the week, you will receive the raw recording about 2 weeks after. And about 60 days after the event closes, we will close the digital platform, and then all of the videos will be uploaded to our YouTube page. So even if you don't request the recording in advance, you'll still be able to share that session later on from our YouTube page.
Sophia, may I just ask something about this?
Sure.
I think this is Nina from Sabadis. So you're gonna give us the recordings, but can we broadcast live from our YouTube channels?
No.
No.
Everyone who is attending has to be on our Pathable platform.
So when will we get the recordings? You know, how long after the event?
As I just said, you can request. There's a request form that you can fill out. That's on our convener FAQ page, and you will receive it within about 2 weeks after the event.
2 weeks, and we can broadcast that recording in our YouTube channel, right?
Yes.
Great, thank you.
Great. Victoria, any other questions? We're getting towards the end, but we have an open forum for the last 5 minutes, so we can certainly continue.
Yes, so I have a question about the Sunday on-site only session. Would it be okay for those session organizers to do their own recording, only audio probably?
Kat, do you want to jump in on this one?
Yes, well, there will be absolutely no equipment for that kind of recording in those session rooms. That doesn't mean that if you want to pick up your phone and film it, what can we do? But I mean, the idea is that everybody that wants to join World Water Week joins and registers. So thanks.
Thanks, Kat.
I have a pretty good question here about the talk show. How can we tell if ours is a talk show, broadcast, or hybrid? They seem to be a bit unsure if they need an online moderator or what type of session they're hosting.
Okay. Yeah, so and I'm trying to think of the best way to see that. Dawn, is there? Yes, there is actually. So if you go, perfect, thank you. If you go to all sessions and then click on your session, whatever it might be. Perfect, you can see if it's broadcast, hybrid, or a talk show. So you'll be able to tell if you need an online moderator for that. Great, Victoria?
Yes, 1 second, there's a lot.
Yeah, and we will try to get to all of as many of these questions. I know there's a lot popping up here, and we of course know that you are also emailing us at worldwaterweek@cv.org. So we will try to get to as many of these questions as possible. But if we, have not been able to answer you today, or if we don't email you within, let's say, the next day or so, please do email us at worldwaterweek@cv.org with your.
Perfect. There's a question here. If we are several speakers, how can we use the same link? Will one registration be sufficient for all speakers?
No. Because the digital platform link is individualized to you, everyone needs their own link. Now, if you would like to use some of your let's say if you are online, if you're an online speaker, if you'd like to use some of those online single day passes for registering that way, we will accept that at this time, but everyone needs to have their own link at this point.
Perfect. I think I have a question here for that.
Sorry, can I maybe still step in for the last question, because it was my colleague asking this question, and we're several speakers, and the problem is, or the thing is that these people might be able to sit together. So the question would be, in that case, if maybe 2 people could share the registration, or even when sitting next to each other, they would have two separate registrations.
We don't recommend sharing the registration or the link. Again, so when you go onto the digital platform, as you could see earlier, every speaker has their own kind of profile. So it's important that everyone, because they have their own link, they have their own profile, they can be added as a speaker to your session. Otherwise, it looks like that you have less speakers than you actually do, which in turn could make your session less attractive to people. So we want to make sure that it looks like a full session. If everyone's sharing one link, then it doesn't look as good.
Yeah, and you also want this, the speaker profiles on your session card, because I guess that's sort of like a promotional tool that you could use, like having them there.
Perfect. I have a question here, I think directed for Kat. For on-site events, is CEWE providing conveners with chairs and tables at the exhibition booths, or are they responsible for their own setup?
This is, I think, a two-way question. Of course, the sessions rooms will have different setups, and you can go into the Convener Success Program and see there how each of the rooms has been set up. If you go to your session in Pathable, you will see which room you've been allocated to, and then you can go to the Convener Success Program and see what kind of equipment is available in that room. Now for exhibition, that's another thing. All the exhibition packages include a standing table and a couple of high chairs, and some of the larger ones actually have a little bit more furniture in them. But if you need to have other furniture, then you need to go to our exhibition provider, City Expo, and I think you'll find also all that information in the Convener Success Program to order your extra material. So I hope that answers your question.
Yes, perfect. There's a question here about parallel setups and broadcast sessions. Can an online speaker intervene during broadcast sessions?
I'm not sure I follow the question. What do you mean exactly? Is the speaker speaking during that allocated slot in the session? I mean, it depends on how you formatted your session.
Right, right. So for example, if it's a panel, then and you have multiple speakers kind of going back and forth and having a conversation, and one happens to be online, then yes, they would be able to speak and add their feedback in the middle. But of course, if you have back-to-back presenters, then you'd want to make sure that you'd want to make sure that your online speaker knows when their session is.
Perfect. And I think we have to start rounding up, but one final question that I got from a few people. What video format is best for playing to be played during the sessions?
Yeah, there's no like restrictions. I guess most people, you would use an MP3 player, but there's no restrictions sort of set out from Zoom as in the format. But I mean, test it beforehand, and if it plays fine on your screen, then I think it's good to go.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Please make sure that you're testing all of these things beforehand in Zoom. But with that, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. I know we haven't gotten to all of the questions. I still see them coming in. We will do our best to get back to you with as many answers as possible. If a question is more general, we will probably put it up on our Convener Success Program so that everyone can see the answer. But thank you so much, and have a wonderful rest of your day. We're looking forward to working with you next week and the week after, and hopefully seeing as many of your faces again.
Yeah, and I just want to add one last thing. I guess, you know, the best way to get comfortable with the platform is to be in there and, you know, play around with it. That's assuming that you have got that magic link, but if you haven't, you know, let us know.
Yeah, please let us know if you haven't gotten the link, and if you're having any registration issues, we're here to help. So please do email us about that. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye.